Rob, just a quick reflection on last week. Gloucester, not quite how you wanted it, but I'd imagine there were still positives in there that you're going to use to build into this week.
Yeah, a funny game in a lot of ways. Players, in the change room afterwards, a couple of players made some very interesting comments. Johnny Gray kind of said, "What are we doing? What's happened here?" So I've never played in a game where, weirdly, I kind of felt under as little stress as I have done. Felt weird to say, felt like under as little pressure or as little challenge, and yet those points were just being scored. And I think what he was alluding to was there was big parts of the game where we were kind of on the front foot, carrying really well, making our dents, making our meters, creating opportunities. We had more opportunities inside the 22 than Gloucester, but they just took everything, and I think that's the tail of it. And we spent quite a lot of time, and at the start of this week, just re-showing the players the difference between where Gloucester scored, where we didn't, and the build up to them. Because I think, I had a long chat with Ali after the game about it. There's just some things we just need to spend this time in this block just reiterating on individual responsibility and just I've said to the players, let's just get really excited about the individual responsibility each player has within the shapes and systems of how we play. That's always been something we've really thrived on. Like I say, every player understanding their importance to the rest of the team is a key fundamental of a great team performance. And we've just been talking about just getting excited about that, just really, really learning your roles within the system, learning your roles within the team, and getting on with things. And to be fair to the guys, they're working very hard at it, but it is new, and we are introducing a lot of new players as we go. This is not a settled team. The most settled team we had was a team that had come through pre-season training together, played in a pre-season game, went into the went to those games. And they were scrappy games, and they were dog fights, and we came up with some late scores, but we had a bit of consistency about us, and it felt like we were probably getting a level of knowing what we were doing. Then obviously you start to pick up a few injuries, internationals start coming and going with camps, and now autumn internationals, and it just breaks that continuity a little bit. And we actually showed a lot of where our mistakes led to Gloucester points, or where we didn't capitalise on Gloucester's mistakes. And a lot of them are just based on the odd guy just getting the wrong play. And it doesn't mean that the whole thing breaks down, but actually what happens is you go from being under one bit of pressure to a bit more pressure to a bit more pressure, and then all of a sudden someone misses a clear out, or someone's not there to make a clear out, or you can't take the opportunity to play into space because someone's left that area of space where they're supposed to stay. And we had like this big group of little errors at it, just because it was a new group playing some new stuff. And that's what we've got to be prepared to take a bit of pain when we're doing that. We just have to be. It doesn't happen overnight. People need to remember we played a pretty similar structure for quite a long time, and we tweaked that structure a little bit as we grew. But as we came in the Premiership, the structure that we came into the Premiership with, that took us to winning our first winning Premiership final, was only tweaked and changed a little bit on the whole, and we became very, very good at it. And it was like a machine working, and it worked. We tweaked and changed things a little bit because we want to adapt and change. It's going to take a little bit of time. We are changing through from being one type of Exeter Chiefs team to a slightly different type of team. It's going to take a little bit of time. We've got to be prepared to take a little bit of pain, but we've also got to be prepared to work very hard to get better. And that's the key for us now. We're making more changes this week because we've had to. We just got to work to get better. We'll probably have to make more changes next week. Great, we'll just have to work to get better, and that's all I can really say. But that said, we're really looking forward to Northampton because it's going to be a great challenge. It's a great place to play rugby. We've had some really good performances and results there before. We like playing there. It's going to be a great challenge. If we don't step up, there's going to be ball flinging around everywhere and people running at us from everywhere, and we're going to be backs against the wall. But if we control the ball, play a little bit better in attack, we also think there's a lot of opportunities for us.
You talked about injuries having an effect, but also you said you learnt from last season when you had a similar kind of situation where back five was a problem in terms of selection. But what are you taking from the learns from last year into this period now? And are the players aware of that as well?
Yeah, well, obviously I spoke very openly to the players already this week. Yesterday in the team meeting, just said, come on guys, I'm not going to make the mistake I did last season. We're not going to talk about, we need to get 4 points or 5 points from so many games, whatever, and that'll keep us in touch. And then as our internationals come back and all this kind of stuff, we're just going to maximise what we do now. It's going to be really exciting for guys getting game time now and playing, and over a period of time we'll probably have Luke Pearson comes in at Gloucester last week, calling the lineouts for us. Did a great job. Our set piece, our forwards didn't let us down in that area at all. Some great more defence. Only I think one more defence we got wrong really, and that's been one of Gloucester's biggest threats for the last couple of years. So when we did that, we looked good around the maul and the scrum. I think that area stood up fantastically well. That's a great experience, and we should celebrate that with a player getting that level of experience and moving on. Josh Hodge back in now, didn't get everything right, and probably outside of what people see, probably didn't get a bit of backfield coverage right. That hurt us once or twice, but then he was getting his hands on the ball and looking good. First game back for a long time. All these kind of things, the things we've got to talk about and celebrate and improve and work on. Not get so focused on where can we hang on to where we then going to develop. We've got to develop now. We've got to build now. We've got to work with each individual player who comes into the team and look to get better and thrive in this pressure cooker now. This is where we want to make a bit of new steel. This is the furnace we want to make a bit of new Exeter.